Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is Sunday, December 28th, 2025. Howard,
What's up,
are
buddy?
you are you worried
Good,
about
how are you?
the billionaire tax?
It's pretty dumb. And listen, the billionaires they don't help themselves, but they have all the money in the world to fight this, and they have all the power, and they have a president that backs them, so it's dumb. I mean, there's just so many smarter things that we could be working on, don't you think? But and I say that as a guy who doesn't like most of these billionaires, but it's not this not going to work.
Yeah,
I think what Peter Thiel said he's moving already. Like, I mean, California's got to be smarter than this. Has to be smarter. Okay, so
yeah.
what do we got?
What do we have? I mean, we saw that quick recovery uh,
Hmm.
in the indices again. Another quick shakeout back near all-time highs, setting up all-time highs. Obviously, the big news has been silver, gold, platinum going parabolic in the past few weeks, really the past year or so.
It was
Uh,
it silver's up more in the last 2 weeks and Bitcoin is the last 4 years. So real commodities are catching up with the digital ones.
yeah, some insane moves
And
in,
they actually have a use case. Silver has a use
yeah,
case, so does gold.
yeah, here's platinum and here's gold.
Aluminum, palladium's on the rise too. I don't know
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
look it up.
all of them copper, like all of them.
Ooh, Freeport. We talked about that one last week. CENX, we talked about that.
That's aluminum, yeah. I
Oh
mean,
my
all of
goodness.
them
I mean, look at that breakout.
continue to look
Look at
strong.
the volume. It's just blue.
Obviously, I don't think it's wise to chase them here
No,
when they're so
these aren't growth
extended.
stocks. But it's doubled. What is
Yeah,
it going to earn $5? So, people will start saying, oh, I'll hide out here for a while, right? But anyways, listen, that's where the money's flowing. It doesn't take much to move these companies relative to tech stocks, right? So if you're, it's a fun time to be a trader that had a good year, right? Like if you index, let's pull up the S&P. If you index, it was a hell of a year. I index mostly, it was a hell of a year.
yeah, third strong year in a row. After the 2022 bear market.
Hmm.
3 strong years. Um, you know, Typically it's rare to see a fourth strong year. I think historically after 3 strong years.
Yeah.
Uh, I think one of the few times it happened was in the late 90s, the dot-com boom between 95 and 99.
Okay.
Um, when the Nasdaq was up significantly, 30-40% a year for 3 years in a row. And
Yep.
then 99, and then 98 and 98, 99 went up 100% and then 80%.
Yeah.
Um,
There was less money floating around. The world wasn't interested in US stocks. And if we look at Oracle and some of these stocks, they've kind of gone sideways as part of slowing down
yeah, there are a
this.
lot more market participants now from the entire world. It's not
Hmm.
like a small number of people.
Yep.
Um,
And investors, there's a lot of froth, but investors are also doing some work and being skeptical on some of this stuff. And NVIDIA's, Oracle's right back to where it was, a year ago.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you need those fraud articles and naysayers, otherwise you wouldn't get any pullbacks and any corrections. Therefore, you wouldn't
Well,
get.
NVIDIA is much also like in many ways doing things like like they bought Grok this weekend for 20 billion and they probably don't have to come out of pocket 20 billion because they're just paying off the investors. But um, that was the Google TPU founder that went and built that. So by doing the acquisition the way they're doing it, and not for this show, but like the unintended consequences of like not allowing deals to happen has created these weird deal structures. And now NVIDIA is keeping Grok out of the hands of AMD. So if you look at AMD, like NVIDIA's in a war with AMD, not just Google, right? So they by buying Grok for 20 billion, they kept it, they're playing, they can use their market cap to play defense, right? it won't necessarily stop Google, but Google kind of created a situation that NVIDIA had to play defense because of, they're running AI. So in a way, even though these companies are kind of all cheating, right? And there's so many trillion-dollar companies now that they're kind of keeping themselves, I don't know what you can do, but they're kind of keeping themselves in check because, the moves they have to make because the other trillion-dollar competitor is making a move. You know what I mean? Like, and so eventually the fight. This is why, like on Twitter, you see billionaires fighting all the time. I'm like, there's so many billionaires, they have their own stupid fights now. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But, anyways, okay, so keep going. What else do we see?
I mean, obviously, there hasn't been a lot of action in the past week, mostly consolidation going sideways, tighter ranges. And this is why we're heading into the new year. We're seeing quite a few, decent looking setups all around the market, like Shopify, for example,
Yeah, which
has
I'm
built
long.
a new
Yeah,
base,
yeah,
potentially setting up here.
yeah.
We talked about Amazon
Super
building
bullish on Amazon and
has built
Shopify.
a new
Yeah,
base here, potentially setting up for a breakout.
yeah,
Tesla has been a big leader, finding some resistance here near 500, near all-time highs
yeah, yeah.
after a late
It
run in the
looks like it's
year.
obvious at this point, and I'm long, but like, sometimes the obvious just
I
doesn't
know
work.
those obvious breakouts often
It's just everybody owns it and
have a
everybody's watching it,
shakeout
and it's
before
yeah.
they
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm in
continue.
it, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it below 400, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it at 600. I have no real edge there. Rivian is interesting to me because they'll be in play, right? I own some Rivian because
Yeah, yeah,
you just can't. They win, and someone's just going to buy it because they know how to make cars, and people love them. So, so I just feel there's a bid underneath that somewhere. And then I think it's a story of financials, Ivan, like with crypto going sideways and really just kind of Bitcoin for all the money spent. You got stable coins and you have Coinbase and you have, Binance and Kraken and Robinhood, but like for all the noise, the banks are at all-time highs. Citibank, just look at Citibank. Like, does it matter that crypto exists
yeah.
in
But
a
if
world
somebody
where
told
JP
you
Morgan is Citibank? Okay, what have they ever done? Like, what are they doing? They're just firing people, and they look at they're going to make $10.
they make a lot of money, yeah.
Right? They borrow from the Fed. And like they pay you 0.001%, the banks, right? They borrow from the Fed. They're just they have a license to print money. And like for all the talk about crypto. So from the lows, it's a three bagger versus Bitcoin, crypto, like for all the noise in crypto. Go look at the XLF, you look at Goldman, these companies are printing money under the Trump administration. And there's no checks and balances on what they're doing. And it's a great time to be a bank, right? It's and no one's talking. Does anybody talk about them? Like I think Deutsche Bank, which is like was left for dead for 100 years, four
Yeah,
bagger in the
yeah,
last
it's near multi-year
years.
highs, yeah.
And basically it's all-time highs because there's nobody left that no one's talking about these things. So congrats to the people that are long. This is why I index. Like I just couldn't get myself to own Citibank. And that's how the indexes are doing well, right? It captures the rotation for you. But I think small caps are the surprise, and the small cap banks are um, make up the most of the IWM, biotechs and banks. And I forget the index for regional banks. RKH maybe
Oh,
or
KRE.
KRE. I mean, let's go back out to a weekly. And that's going to go. If the small caps are going to go, this is what you should be watching. Regional banks and biotechs. And that's so so there's just a lot of stuff going on under the surface there, and a lot of it's in small caps. And then
Not
on the
only,
big
but yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, they're setups anywhere really. I mean, small caps are in theory are supposed to outperform ne near the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, but they've been lagging lately. As you can see, the relative strength line is declining. So we're seeing setups really everywhere, including in big tech, as we mentioned. Tesla, Amazon, Shopify setting up, and not only them. Other companies as well are you know have the potential to recover,
Yeah.
to set up.
I'm super bullish on Apple, Google, Amazon. Those are my three that that people know that
That
I own.
hasn't really
I
changed.
spend a lot of money on Apple. I haven't. It's just so. I went to the Apple store to get an iPad, couple iPad, some gifts, and iPad minis, the Airs. Oh my God. Like, because I don't want to carry my laptop everywhere anymore just to watch YouTube and check email in bed with a pencil and my phone, I just can't read anymore. And the service, the way they got me out of the store to spend 4 or 5 grand in Apple Care, and they're making their money on Apple Care too. Like, and just the amazing way they can move high volume, high margin. It's like buying a car in many ways with just way better margins. The amount of transactions happening at these stores is just insane. And I thought Lulu was busy. I never go to the mall, but during Christmas, I thought Lulu was really busy. Again, there's just so many stores, but I thought Lulu was really busy. The other store, that Chinese store, I forget where I buy my socks and cheap cotton stuff. What the hell's the name of it? That Federer was. There's some great stores at the mall that are really modernized. And I glow or something. It's not public. It's a Chinese company. But the way Sephora, for example, moves. I'm watching my daughter shop at Sephora, which is owned by LVMH.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible one of their brands. And I think luxury has kind of bottomed, as you can see here. The 10% are carrying, or better to invest in the 10% than the 90%. But the 90% are ruled by Walmart. I think Walmart's doing well too, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. So again, like those, LVMH and Walmart are like the two markets. It's very hard in between. And so there's just a lot of strength. Where any swings you're doing, anything what particular, or is it
Amazon, I
all?
bought Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, I own a little bit of Shopify,
I like the
Rocket,
Shopify setup. Yeah.
Rocket. I own a little bit of that, potentially setting up.
Okay.
What else? That energy company, CEG. It's been going nowhere, tightening.
Okay.
It can continue to
Hey, what are you going to do for
trade
New
in a
Year's?
range. I'm sorry.
What are you doing for New Year's?
Oh, nothing. We have a small baby staying at home.
No,
Uh,
you keep saying it's small baby. It's been 10 years. What
almost two
else
years. Almost 2 year old. Yeah.
He's only
Uh,
two?
yeah, 20 months. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is interesting here.
I mean, there is a lot
Um,
going on. I think the Chinese one, by the way, I own a little bit. I own some
I
co-options
think you
too.
brought that up recently.
Yeah, it's really the best performing Chinese stock, and it's also I think it's a big AI play, that people might catch up with it in 2026. But we'll see. Chinese stocks are not easy
I'm
to
bullish.
hold.
I'm long Baidu. I'm long I think
It's
Tencent.
acting better than Alibaba. Alibaba is above the previous swing high.
And where's
So
Tencent?
let's see.
I'm
It's near
kind of
the
bullish on
highs.
this too.
Near its highs. But as you can say, unless you have like a really multi-month horizon on those and you're
Yeah,
willing
and
to
I
hold,
do. So yeah, I do, and that's
they
why
they
I
kind
can.
they kind of hard to swing, most
Yeah.
of those Chinese names.
Okay, everybody. Happy New Year, Ivan.
Happy New Year to
Happy New
Howard.
Year, everybody, and we will see everybody in the new year.
Yeah.